So for those of you, there are a handful of you that are participating in Disability Cocoon's pilot of Shift. And as a part of that Shift program, if you go to the menu within Shift, you can do search for enabling technology, and there is a link directly to Atvisor built inside of Shift. So we really do think that this is going to be an extremely useful tool, and excited to have Moran and Ronit on. So I'm showing 2 after. I'm guessing we'll have a few more people join, but I will stop the rambling. Thank you all for joining us. And Moran, I will turn it over to you to give us a demo of Atvisor.
Thank you, Dustin. Thank you very much. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us. And we're very, very excited to present the platform and the partnership to you today. And I think that finding Disability Cocoon as a partner, and Dustin, of course, means a lot to us because we felt like you, Dustin, share a very bright, a very innovative vision of the future of the assistive technology market in the US and worldwide. And I'll do a share screen and we'll begin to talk about that and present the platform as well. So we're talking about, just a second, let's see. We're talking about the future of the assistive technology market in a way of thinking about the gap between usage and need of our clients and users, people with disabilities, older people, and their family members. And we're talking about a huge market by 2030. The World Health Organization is talking about 2 billion older people and people with disabilities in need of assistive technology. And we know that there is an urgent need because there's 85 to 95 lack of use of assistive technology, meaning that only 1 out of 10 people in need use assistive technology. And when we understand the great value of it, economic-wise, clinical-wise, we get to the understanding that the big challenge is to match between the products and the people in a way that fits, meaning we take the profile of a client and we match it to the profile of a product in a better way. And we know that a mismatch can lead to product abandonment or misuse. We're doing this in a digital way. And the model is a market network model, meaning that we bring to one platform 3 communities: end users, people with disabilities, older people, and their family members. The other community is professionals, assistive technology professionals, occupational therapists, physiotherapists, speech clinicians, etc., and also governmental entities or representatives that are involved in the assistive technology assessment and provision process, and of course the industry, the assistive technology industry. Once we create a platform that will be able to create the interactions between those communities, the idea is that we will be able to reach a better match between people and technologies. The Atvisor platform is an AI-based platform that is doing essentially 3 things. First, we analyze the conditions and needs of clients. And as you will see right now, we create client profiles. Think of Facebook. We use the ICF, the International Classification of Functioning, Health and Disabilities. This is the language with which we describe clients. And we're moving from the medical model to a social model, meaning we think of people not only by their diagnosis, but also about their whole profile, their functioning profile. Afterwards, we create recommendations for clinical decision-making, meaning we take this profile, we understand the goals of the person, and then we offer him or her assistive technology products in the marketplace that can suit the goals and the profile of the person. And now I will move to show you a live demonstration of the platform to illustrate the things that I've just mentioned. If you have questions, please feel free to write, and I'll answer during the demonstration itself. So just let me know if you see the screen. Is that okay? Dustin, can you see
Yeah.
it?
Yes, yeah, we've got it perfectly. Thank you.
Okay. So when we're thinking about a digital platform, we need to create a very clear demonstration of client journeys. And we saw that there are 3 distinct client journeys in the field of assistive technology. The first is, we call it discovery. Sometimes people are not aware of the solutions out there. They want to learn, they want to explore, and you can go to find a product and just enter the catalog and see all the suggestions in a simple database. And this is relevant for people just want to learn more about the assistive technology world or industry. Not everyone are ready to jump to the recommendation wizard or the assistive technology consultation process. The second journey is the journey that we call recommendation wizard or assistive technology online consultation. This can be done together with an AT professional or alone in a self-assessment process that leads to the work of a professional. So sometimes people want to create a profile on their own and then meet the professional and select the assistive technology products. And the third client journey is to find a consultant. We know that not all people are aware of the fact that they can work with an assistive technology professional. And here we create a place where professionals and end users can meet. I will demonstrate today the recommendation wizard from the eyes of a professional. You can enter the platform yourself and use it as an end user or a professional and experience it yourself. I didn't say, but I will mention that now, that the platform is free for use. You can also now enter the platform and use it, and we'll be happy to hear your thoughts and feedback. So we'll begin now to work with the recommendation wizard. And the first step that we do is we enter basic details. The information here is secured. You can see the journey on your left. We begin with personal information and then describing the profile, adding comments and choosing the goals. So let's begin with a fictive name, okay? Megan Rhodes. She's meeting an occupational therapist, Jenny, that is working with her. Jenny is filling in the details together with Megan in their session. And the first question the platform is asking is, do we know any diagnosis for Megan? And I just want to explain that at the beginning, we wanted to create a free profile so everyone can describe the symptoms that he's dealing with or she's dealing with. And then we've discovered in 2 big pilots in Israel that AT professionals still need this framework of thought, and we offer the possibility to work through a diagnosis. So I know from Megan, or Jenny knows from Megan, that she has diabetes and low back pain and asthma, and she recently suffered a stroke. And this is, I guess, you know, a very familiar situation where we have clients with comorbidities. Once I do save and continue, I get all the symptoms that are related to these diagnoses. And I can choose from the symptoms what is relevant to Megan. And this is important because sometimes we deal with the central diagnosis and we don't look at other diagnoses that can affect the profile of the person and the assistive technology that might be relevant to him or to her. So we do save and set symptoms, and then we get all the symptoms that are relevant to the diagnosis that Megan has mentioned to Jenny, and we can choose from them what is relevant to Jenny. So we know that following the stroke, she has an attention deficit, a memory decline, due to the diabetes and her general situation. She's describing a low energy level. Her executive functions are not intact fully. Let's see. She has a back pain and also a weakness in her muscles. The diabetes has caused also a seeing deficit, the same problem. Let's look for it.
And we have a real quick question. What does voice mean?
Voice means, as a symptom?
Yes.
That there is a change in her voice, and this can be even further specified if we're talking about articulation, if we're talking about the strength of the voice. The professional has the possibility to get back to the symptoms list and make it even more specific, but these are the common symptoms related to the diagnosis that she has. Okay, let's go. So we do save and set details. And now I have the possibility to make it even more exact. Okay, I can say that she has a moderate energy level. And I just want to stop and say that this is a clinical estimation. The ICF says that if you have the duration or the intensity of the symptom during the last month can be mild if it's 25% of the time, moderate if it's 50%, severe if it's 75%, and complete if it's 100%. Okay, we're calling it, it's a soft assessment. Okay, so we do save and continue. Her attention deficit is moderate. She has a mild memory decline. Her executive functions are moderate in their deficit. Her pain is in the back, so we can look for the trunk and then choose back and say it's moderate. And she has, due to the stroke, a loss of power in her upper arms. Let's go. In her right side, which is moderate. This is it. Okay, the client card has been created. We can add comments, but this is the major step in working with the platform. If you know the client and know the platform, it takes approximately between 5 to 10 minutes, as you saw me doing that now. We know professionals working with the platform doing that also in the course of an intake together with the client once they feel confident enough. This is a client profile. It is saved in the platform. I can add symptoms, I can change severities, I can change body location if something gets better or worse, as we know in rehabilitation. I can share it with the client using this icon. I can share it with colleagues working in the same institution. And this is the basis for all the recommendations that will be created for Megan. So now I can choose any activity that Megan is specifying as important for her. Either it's difficult for her to perform or it's impossible for her to perform. And we can go from a very focused activity to a very general activity. It can be something related to physical performance, cognitive, senses, etc. So Megan is telling Jenny that she wants to do the laundry and it's difficult for her, and we do laundry. And what we get is recommendations from the marketplace itself. It's not a general recommendation, it's not a category, it's products in the marketplace. You'll see now products from the Israeli database and also from the international database. So if you see Hebrew, that's okay. If you see a language that you don't understand, that's Hebrew. And we get 70 recommendations of products from 10 different categories for Megan. This is an important part. When we think about assistive technologies, usually we think about a sector or a domain, and we tend to recommend a specific product. When we think about an activity, we need to think holistically. So you can see that there are products here from different commercial domains or relevant to the activity she's interested in performing and matching her profile. For example, you can see in clothes and shoes, ironing instruments that are related to the fact that she's doing laundry and sometimes she will need to iron things. So those ironing instruments coming from Amazon, but also from other suppliers, are relevant to her specific profile. You can imagine that we have more ironing instruments in this specific category, but the ones that were picked up and offered to Megan are the ones that are relevant to her specific profile. Okay, you can compare between prices, you can go in and look for recommendations, etc. But you can also see things like food measuring aids. And this is the AI part of the platform. Why do we see food measuring aids? If you think about laundry and you think about detergent, sometimes you need to measure the amount of the detergent that you want to use. And she has an attention deficit and a memory deficit and an executive functioning decline. And she may need an instrument to weigh the amount or see the amount of product that she's using in detergents to put inside the laundry, the washing machine. So you can see measuring cups that an occupational therapist will say are very important for her, that she can measure with the amount of the detergent. This is the power of using AI to computerize like the assistive technology professionals' decision making. But you can also see mobile apps related to daily routine, to like to support the timeline where she wants, when she wants to do the laundry, and like very basic things like laundry and washing machines and laundry dispensers, all relevant to her profile and the activity she wants to do. And this is important. This is not a recommendation that is like 5 basic details. It's supposed to open the market, open the thinking of a professional and an end user, and then create like a process or a journey from where do we want to begin to support you in this activity, and how do we move forward. For example, at the beginning, we'll work with a mobile app just to remind you when do you want to do the laundry, and then we'll think about the process where you want to iron things that came out of the laundry, etc. So every activity is a world or a sphere of its own, but we can also look at other general activities like reading and writing, and the recommendations there will be different, but still taking into account Megan's profile. And it's easy. You can see that you can move from one activity to the other. And once you do that, you get other recommendations. We get 158 recommended products in 18 different categories. You can see alarms and indicators, timers relevant for the reading process. Sometimes for someone with an attention deficit, it's important while reading to measure the time and to see that there is no cognitive decline while reading. You can see book fixations because of the weakness in her hand, but we can also see digital things like screen readers or magnifying devices to support the reading process.
We're on.
I can move on and on with other activities, but the idea is that once the client card, the client profile is ready, you can play, you can learn about the world of assistive technologies as much as you like.
We have a question that has come in. Is there any specific training for specialists to kind of complete the profile and use the tool?
Yes. What we've learned, first of all, that we cannot offer to end users the platform solely. The idea is the idea of a collaborative intelligence process where we use the experience and the wisdom and the professionalism of 80 professionals together with the platform to enhance recommendations to end users. So what we've done is we've created a very short training process, and as you'll experience that on your own, it's very intuitive eventually. But we have a tutorial that we'll be happy to send to you, and we can do a webinar. As we saw for people working in this field, a very basic session of learning about the platform is sufficient to create profiles in the platform. And this is, of course, a part of the collaboration that we're creating with Dustin. Maybe you want to add something more about that.
Yes, I mean, the collaboration with Disability Cocoon is that we have connections with lots of various different tech vendors here in the US so that we can continue to expand the database of solutions that are out there. And Disability Cocoon can, work with you to teach you how to use the platform if that's necessary. But I think that, as Moran said, it is pretty intuitive. One of the other questions that we had come in that I want to make sure I don't forget is there somewhere within the platform that explains the mild, moderate, severe, and complete classification?
It will be added in the next few days, right, Ronit?
Okay.
Part where we discussed the 25, 50%, etc.
Right.
And then,
It will be a hover when you get to the symptoms part. It will be a hover when you go for mild, moderate, etc. You can see it there. It's also important for accessibility.
all right. We have a question about the cost of the platform. And
it's free.
It's free. Best part about it, yeah.
Yeah, it's free.
And then can you speak to a little bit about the HIPAA privacy?
Yeah. What we've done is we're now in what is called a GDPR audit for the European market, but it will be also relevant to HIPAA requirements in the US. So the platform, even now and more in the next few months, will be HIPAA compliant. I wanted to add something more about the fact that it's free. We thought about the communities that we work with, assistive technology professionals, end users, family members. The idea is to make the information and the service as accessible as possible. And the way that we work with assistive technology industry, and this is the part of the business model for the company, is a marketplace and affiliations. If we create a lead that leads to a sale, then we do some kind of a revenue sharing with the supplier that has reached a purchase. The idea is that for the professional audience and the end users, of course, the platform is free of charge.
Yeah, that's amazing. We have another question coming here. Will the search, Atvisor search, will it search the 200 hours of disability Cocoon information? So Ron, that is one of the things that I'm working hard to do right now, is to get all of those companies and their solutions onboarded or included in the database, so that when people search, yes, that stuff will come up. And then we have a couple of comments in here that are, free is awesome. Yay, free.
Free is awesome. That's right. Maybe I want to say something about trends in the world that are important to mention. First of all, in February this year, the World Health Organization has declared that there is a need of digital tools, AI-based digital tools, to support assistive technology decision-making, with the understanding that the information is out there and that there are amazing solutions for our end users, and we need the power of digital tools to enhance the service that we give to our clients. This is one remark, and the other is the importance of affordable and accessible. We know that when we open the market, we create a situation where people can choose and they can compare and they can learn and they can, enter a market of affordable and accessible assistive technologies. So these are two important trends that I think they're important to mention.
And Moran, do you mind if I speak to the kind of phase 2 and phase 3 developments that we've just been
Please do.
Okay.
Please do.
Yeah, these are the things that I'm going to describe next are not things that we have completely fleshed out or even beyond just having an idea. But the other thing that Disability Cocoon, I think, can contribute to this is just the knowledge of the United States Medicaid systems around the country. And I think that this is amazing, right? You can go find what this specific tool that you need that is going to be perfectly matched to the individual's desired outcome. But then we have the funding piece, right? We have the waiver piece. We have the regulatory environment that you're operating in. So that is kind of an idea that we've been kicking around, is like maybe there's another layer to this platform where it can help you manage the procurement of the devices through that waiver system in a regulatory compliant way. So that's kind of phase 2, where we'll help you with that component of it. Phase 3 is you've got this profile in there and you found a device that you make a purchase on. You've gone through the regulatory compliant purchasing system that would be built in here, and the device is deployed. We could build in some follow-along questioning and follow-along data that is captured to get real user information on the efficacy of these devices, and also the financial ROI tied back into that waiver system, right? So then What we've got is data saying, hey, this product was great at addressing this issue, which will only make Atvisor's recommendations on the front end better and smarter, but we'll also have this vast database of information on ROI, both for the people served, showing true outcomes for people through the use of technology, but also financial ROI to states that are funding this. So I'm excited about it, but yeah.
Yeah, now I can share that there is a parallel process that we do in Israel that is very similar to what you have described, together with the Ministry of Welfare or Social Affairs and the Ministry of Health. And the idea is to connect between the governmental entities related to assistive technology provision and assessment. This is already a process in progress. And then while connecting to the governmental databases, the assistive technology recommendations from Atvisor, we can create a full client journey from assessment to provision and use. And talking about use, the idea is that the professional working with the platform can also support the client through the first stages of use, because we know they are crucial for implementation of assistive technologies. We have communication, a platform inside at Atvisor, so you can communicate with your clients after they've purchased the product. You can see that they've purchased the product and learn more about the implementation process. So many facets to this amazing market, and we'll be happy to keep in contact with you, learn from your feedback. Please enter the platform. You're very much invited. Send us feedback. Keep in touch. We'll be very happy to do that.
We have two more quick questions, and I know you have
Sure.
to jump, but are the recommendations of the technologies pre-screened for reliability?
This is a very important part. We have the possibility to show in different ways the products that are acknowledged or funded or are approved by the government, and the open market possibilities. So this is the way that we see the end user need and pain, so he can choose. He can see the products that are funded or approved by the government, and he can see the open market solutions and learn from reviews and, you know, share peer reviews, etc. But the idea is the idea that you can choose. You need to learn what are the possibilities, and you can choose from them.
Do you see this working? Another question is, do you see this working for people in education?
Yes, absolutely. As you saw, the profiles are not segmented to one disability. And in the activity, first of all, the profile, you can describe intellectual deficits, cognitive deficits, senses, physical, everything in the profile itself. And also in the activities, you have mobility, you have learning, you have employment. We're not segmenting anything in a platform related to one disability or another.
Great. Last question. How do suppliers get added to the search? Do they have to pay a fee? And can you kind of run through that real quick?
No, they don't have to pay an entrance fee. The idea is that we work on a pay-per sale. So if a transaction has been made through a lead from the platform and they get a revenue from it, we do a collaboration based on that, commission-based.
Yep. So suppliers don't pay anything unless they're selling products through the platform.
Exactly. Exactly. Yep. Thank you.
Great. Well, Ron, this was a very good presentation. We had lots of questions and engagement. Seeing lots of really good comments in here.
Thank you.
So thank you very much for spending your evening. It is about 7:30 Israeli time. Thank you very much. For those of you that are on, had a few questions about recordings. You can find the recording of this in the Disability Cocoon members area. It'll take me a week or so to get there. And you can find other past tech huddles and other resources there as well. So thank you again. And you will also find a link to Atvisor on the Disability Cocoon website. I'm working on that right now. So again, this is going to be a pretty big central part of what Disability Cocoon does. And excited to work with Moran and Renit and the team there at Atvisor.
It's a pleasure working with you, Dustin. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone. Hope everybody stays safe. Have a good day.